Hello, and welcome to UT3 tutorial session 1. And in this tutorial I'm going to cover mainly the user interface and what everything we're looking at means. On the top here, these are pretty much self-explanatory icons, but I'm going to go through with them. This is pretty much to create a new map. You click this and it allows you to create an additive world or a subtractive world. In an additive world, it's a world filled with no matter at all. In other words, it's completely empty space. And so in order for us to place things in it, we must add matter to this world. This is an ideal setup to create maps that take place outdoors, open world maps. Subtractive worlds are worlds filled with matter. Everything's filled in, sort of like a box filled with dirt. And we're in the middle of this box filled with dirt. And in order for us to create space, we have to subtract matter from the world. So I'm going to click subtractive world here for the sake of our session here, and continue on with some of my explanations here on these icons. This is to open existing files. If you created a map, you can open a map that you've recently saved. There's a quick way to save your level, and there's a way to save all your levels. You can change the way you can move objects here. The top here is your translation tool. This lets you move your objects on the 3 dimensions of axis, Z, X, Y. This is your rotation tool, which allows you to rotate objects. This is your scale tool, which allows you to scale objects to how you see fit. And this is your non-uniform scaling. This allows you to scale objects by their dimensions alone and not in general all directions. This allows you to change where this widget shows. Sometimes when you're trying to manipulate objects through a geometry mode over here, your arrows will look messed up. If you switch it to the world, it will realign your arrows so that you can more accurately move your objects. This lets you search for actors or objects that you've placed in your level. We haven't placed anything yet, so there's really nothing much to search other than this. But if you're ever looking for something specific, you can try to look for whatever it is that you're looking for, the name on this list, and if you click go to, it'll take you directly to that object. These are simple copy paste icons. This is the generic browser, which opens your generic browser that has all your materials, 3D models, particle effects, sound effects, etc. This is your Kismet. The Kismet is Unreal's little way of allowing you to program through these little, not really quite sure what you call these, I just call them Kismets, and allow you to program things such as cinematics, cutscenes, animations of objects, and so forth. This is just the perspectives camera, and this enables socket snapping, so that when you're moving, you see how it has that snapping effect. If I click this, it's much more smooth. This builds your geometry, and this builds lighting in your level. This builds paths, and this builds both lighting and geometry. You'll be using these a lot in order, especially to play test your levels. This allows you to play test your levels, and this cooks your level. In other words, it makes it it makes your level that you've been working on an actual level, which you can play within the game. Over here is to view the game real time, so if you have special materials or particle effects that play during your while your level is active, you don't have to go into the level to see these particle effects or these animations to take place. You could just click this button and you can see within real time these particle effects taking effect. This is pretty much the wireframe that we're looking at now. And this is an unlit mode. This is a lit mode here, so that when we're looking at the objects through a light, we can see that object within these kinds of lights, in these shader modes. If I click this button here, this is to maximize or unmaximize a window. So you can see I've clicked this button here, and now I have 4 perspectives. These 4 perspectives are important to keeping track of what you're viewing in 3D space. As you can see, PTFS along the top here. P is for perspective, which is what this view is. You can move your camera around by holding your left mouse button, and it travels on a horizontal surface here that you can move around. If you hold the right mouse button, you can move around. You can't move around, you stay stationary, but you can look around. And if you hold the left and the right mouse button, you can travel up and down with your mouse. This will be very important to try to navigate your level as it gets more and more complex. T is for the top perspective. We're looking at this box from the top. The S is for the side perspective, so we're looking at this from the side. And the F is for front perspective, which means we're looking at this from the front. We can completely customize these perspectives how we see fit by just clicking the appropriate letters. And we can switch the view modes here. But I'm going to use the default because that's what I'm most comfortable with. You can use whatever suits your fancy. Again, this allows you to maximize. This changes your scroll speeds. As you can see, if I make this the max scroll speed, I can scroll in really quickly and scroll out very quickly. And I guess I'll stop there for part 1 of session 1.